Bowls Australia acknowledges the traditional owners and custodians of the land in which this stream is produced. We pay our respects to all First Nations people and acknowledge elders past and present.
Massive renovations have taken place at the Broadbeach Bowls Club, and the 2024 Australian Open will be right here to showcase all of them. As you see behind me, a new wonderful place to watch bowls is going to take place, and also RINKSIDE Live, your place to watch bowls for the 2024 Australian Open. As we head into the next 14 days, the world's best will converge on Australia's Gold Coast for 2 weeks to fight it out for some of the nation's biggest prizes in the sport of bowls. This is RINKSIDE Live, and this is the 2024 Australian Open. Welcome. Every year, the Australian bowling community converges on Australia's Gold Coast with such great anticipation for the world's biggest bowls festival as the Australian Open gets underway, and that is no different in 2024. This is the 2024 Australian Open for Aero Bowls. Aero, the largest manufacturer of the most accurate bowls ever made. More model sizes, grips, and over 65 colours, innovating the game for tomorrow. I'm Val Febo, and joining me this morning will be the one and only Ellen Faulkner. Looking forward to hearing her insights and her bowls mind. It's unparalleled. And this morning's match, we've got Jess Ciampa from Cabramatta against Glyn Owen from St Leonards in Victoria. So looking forward to seeing these two go about their business. Both retired from their careers and looking at investing in bowls full time, and I can't wait to see this tournament get underway. It's such an amazing competition, and I absolutely love the Australian Open. It is the world's biggest bowls festival. It's one of the hardest events in the world to win, and I cannot wait to see who comes out on top in each of those 15 events that we see across the fortnight. And Ellen Faulkner has joined me, and sitting alongside me, Team Valen is back. Welcome.
We are back. Thanks, Val. Lovely to be here. What a beautiful day on the Gold Coast.
It's so good, isn't it? And flying up from Melbourne yesterday, I had a few layers on, had some jeans, and got to the hotel yesterday, changed it into some shorts, and regretted that immediately last night because we were here doing the rematch and it got very, very cold. But during the day, it is perfection.
It absolutely is, and it's been lovely just to see the amount of people that have turned up today to come and watch and support, as well as those that are competing. Great opportunity for friendships to be renewed and for new friendships to be formed.
Very much looking forward to how the tournament goes. Ellen, you were a two-time finalist here last year. How excited are you to be gearing up for yet another crack at this tournament?
Oh, it's the best tournament in the world. You know, it's the one that everyone wants to win. Very lucky to play with some fantastic teammates. So looking forward to teaming up with Carmen Anderson again in the pairs, and then with Ellen Fife, as she is now.
Yes.
Lee Ryan, Christina Christic, and Brianna Smith, who, of course, was part of the Matador Fours winning 4 yesterday.
Yes, I did see that, and what a power couple foursome that was. It was Disco, and Aaron Wilson and Jamie Lee Warsnop, of course, they are engaged, and then Ben Twist and Brianna Smith. So a couple of power couples involved there. Not Chris and Ellen Faulkner yet, but
we've got a long way to go. Yeah, but it was brilliant to see. And the Australian squaddies featured very heavily in the top 3, which was wonderful.
Certainly was, and the crowd starting to flock in as they tend to do for day one of the Australian Open, and the roll-ups have been done, so all the players will just wait for the next, I think, 3 minutes before we can officially get the 2024 Australian Open underway. There's something special about playing on the opening morning, and you know, just gets that sense of excitement up. And you know, you last year, Els, were featuring very heavily in the pointy end, and you know, what does it take to go deep in this competition? Does it take mental fortitude, physical fortitude? How do you keep yourself going for 2 weeks? Because it is a long and grueling event for those that are playing for, such a long period of time across all the events.
Yeah, I think it's all of the above, but I think once you get on a roll and you kind of just keep going, it's probably easier than stop-start, to be honest. You just get into that momentum and you, just keep focusing on your process and, the results then come, I guess. But, it's a fantastic tournament. And, what's brilliant is that people will play multiple events when they're here and they get to experience lots of different clubs at the coast. And I think the big thing in terms of the size and scale of the operation here, the big shout out to the Bowls Australia events team of Andrew Harry and Paul Holsky. I mean, they do a phenomenal job to coordinate everything, but also the volunteers. You've only got to look today in terms of the markers and umpires. This is a huge logistical piece of work, and it all comes together so seamlessly. And I'm just looking at Harry over there. He's just walking around, but as calm as and measured as always. So we're very blessed and lucky, and that's the big thing from an events perspective. From a player, you know exactly what you're doing, where you're going, what you're doing, and you know that everything's going to be in place, and all you've got to do is turn up and play good bowls and enjoy yourself. Exactly right. And you hear from everybody that does play this event how much they love it and how much they do enjoy themselves, and they always want to come back next year. And that's exactly what we hope, that all of the newbies that are coming up to the Australian Open for the first time or coming down, depending on wherever you're from, we hope that they all enjoy themselves and have the best time. 119 sections to get underway today. We've got 3 games to stream. It's all men's singles for the first 3 days of the competition here on Rinkside Live, and then we move into women's pairs and then some women's singles action late in the first week before we get into a little bit of fours. So looking forward to seeing all of this come to fruition. And it's been a long time coming since our last BA event, which was BPL 19 in February. So it's nice to be back in the ringside chair. Got a couple of people watching on social media already. Good to have your company. Philip Lubke is always the first one watching. And Tim Gribble. Hi, Val. Looking forward to coming up tomorrow and competing in it for my first time. Looking forward to seeing you up here, Tim, and good luck. As the bell very, very close to getting underway, Els. Yeah, I'm sure there'll be a few nerves out there for some competitors, which is what you want. Some nerves is good. It shows that you care. It shows that you want it. It's just how you manage it. And here we go. We are off. We are. There is the horn. Getting us underway will be Jess Ciampa. Have you met Jess before, Els, playing at Cabramatta? Yes, I have, as a former Billant. Yep, I've seen him around the club. Yeah, so I played down at Cabramatta when we lived in New South Wales, when we first moved over from England. Yeah, you're a Queenslander. Yeah, and now we are up here. So first bowl of the Australian Open has been sent down. And this is the beauty of the AO. Early on, you never know what rink or what venue you're going to get, and you might end up on the live stream. Yeah, it's pretty cool, isn't it? Yep. It's quite wonderful. There's a lot of big names playing today. Aaron Sheriff playing right here at the Broadbeach Bowls Club. Now, the bowls that these two are using, XGs for Jess and then Glyn Owen. He's using Green Master Premiers, both in the red, so that kind of makes things a little bit harder for us to see. Yeah, we're going to have to pay attention with the stickers, Mal. But those bowls, and just going through, but those bowls, the XGs are a little bit more of a brighter red for Jess Ciampa. He's a former builder before he retired, and Glyn was an arborist for his trade, looked after trees. I was going to ask, yeah. I had to ask. I felt really bad. I'm like, what is that? Pardon my ignorance. Sorry, Glyn. Well, Glyn's just put another bowl in the head there. So Glyn is from St Leonards in Victoria, which is
part of the Bellarine Peninsula, where the new BPL franchise, the Geelong Jets, they'll represent that area. Not too far from Ocean Grove, and he's made a pretty good account of himself so far. This is probably going to be a 3, I would say, if it pulls up. Yeah, that'll do. Singles, we, of course, Alan, played a 21 up.
We do indeed. So this is a game of patience.
It is. And the first to 17, Alan, the checkout zone.
Oh, you love the checkout zone, don't you?
I used it last night, actually. Final bowl of the opening end. This is a really big chance for Glyn Owen to commence proceedings.
Oh, this is the start that you dream of, isn't it? If you can pick up a maximum on the first end. Oh, just a little bit wide.
But a 3 is a very good start, I believe. We'll just get our marker, Pierre Westerfeld. We'll get to see what this will be. We get a little bird joining us for company here. 2 have been kicked out. Are we going to get a third? They're studying and surveying. Might need to get a little measure here. Yes, we will. From where we sit, almost horizontally with the head. Looks like it would be a 3, but the camera angles are deceiving as well. Of course, these matches this morning, 2 hours and 15 minutes timed. And that is a 3. So the yellow paddles of Glyn Owen raised, and that is a very, very good start for the Victorian.
And more importantly, 1 from 1 with a measure call from us.
I know. It's a good start.
Yeah, it'd be interesting where Glyn puts this jack. You would think he'll look for that long 3/4 length, which is what they've just played. Going in this direction, though, there's no sun, so that'll make a slight difference with the pace.
Yep, and we know that the middle session and early in the afternoon session, these greens are at their quickest. The sun absolutely bakes them here on the Gold Coast, but they have a couple of apartment buildings overlooking Broadbeach where the sun is in the mornings.
And, of course, the club has had some fabulous renovations.
Oh, doesn't it look wonderful?
It does, but it's interesting whether that will affect the position of the sun.
The good thing is, with these new renovations, they've got TVs behind us and they've got Fox Footy on, and they're showing a replay of my team having their second win of the season. So I can look back and just have a little reminisce of how good Thursday night was.
It seems that everywhere we go, when we're doing filming at Club Sunbury, there was a replay of your team as well.
No, that wasn't mine.
Oh, okay.
We did that. Geez, that was a month ago now at Club Sunbury. It's gone very quick.
Oh, and great bowl.
That's just a nice little steadier there from Jess Ciampa, who was a little bit wayward in that opening end.
Bouncing back strong, which is what you got to do.
Got Ray watching from Broome, right across the nation. I've always wanted to get to Broome. I've heard it is absolutely wonderful up there. What has Glyn Owen got?
Oh, he's changed his hand. Just pulling up short.
Got Paul O'Brien saying, "Go Tigers." You betcha. Actually, I've got a couple of days off on Saturday, Sunday up here, so I've actually booked tickets to head back to Melbourne and go to Dustin Martin's 300th game.
Oh, wow.
So if you don't hear from me for 2 days, that's why.
It's always awesome, isn't it, to be there at milestone moments?
Yep. So Glyn Owen wants to continue to capitalise on a brilliant opening end, but the first bowl from Jess Ciampa, whose style is really interesting. He almost squats before he bowls. I love coming to the Australian Open and seeing all the different techniques and styles, because you get to see, we see a lot of the jackaroos and how they go about it, but talk to us about all of these different styles that you see at the AO, and do you sometimes put your coaching hat on and say, that person on rink 18, he could do this or she could do that?
I try not to. Ultimately, if you look at the best bowlers in the world, there's different intricacies of everyone's delivery, but the core things are that it's a smooth, balanced, repeatable delivery. So that's the whole thing. If you can consistently replicate time after time, then you're going to be effective at what you do.
So let's see where this one ends up from Jess Ciampa.
Can he add another?
He's not far away. I think that'll do the job.
It looks like it on the camera, although I'm not sure looking at it on the rink. Yep, 2.
It is. So that's a good end from the New South Welshman.
Really important that, you drop a 3 on the first end, you've got to then bounce back, which he's done really, really well.
Joe Franzi watching on. He's an absolute star, is Joe. Playing out of Club Tweed now. Hoping plenty of dustbin lid groupings tomorrow in my battle against Ben Twist. I did see that. Actually, I had to give Joe a little mention in the AO preview, because he does do a lot of work and he volunteers so regularly here at the AO. His wife is also a very handy bowler.
Yeah, actually played with Deb in the Club 4s, which was great.
Very
we
nice.
Managed to get up in that, which was good. Yeah, really lovely couple.
So 3-2 after 2 ends here, and let's see how these patterns evolve, because in this direction it was Glyn Owen who won the opening end, and in the previous direction it was Jess Ciampa. Singles is often a game of patterns and momentum swings, so see how these early ones play out in 2024.
Yeah, it is indeed. And the jack's just been lengthened by about 3 metres, I'd say. So sitting on the tee there nearly. Oh, very, very good opening bowl there.
So after a bit of a blip, things are looking much better. Josh Beattie watching on. Lucas Protopapas watching on. Do some work, Lucas. I'm sure the Right at Home tent needs you, or the Right at Home marquee in the tent at Broadbeach. If you are on the Gold Coast, please head to the Broadbeach Bowls Club, because you can get any sort of merchandise that you want in that marquee tent. It is fantastic. Have you been in, Alice?
No, I'm looking forward to going in after this first game when we've got a slight break. I'll
do a bit of shopping.
Go and have a look.
Went through yesterday. There's any type of bowl or piece of equipment that you could ask for, plus our great partners at Right at Home, Audica, Aero are in there as well. Terry Morrison watching on from the ACT. Chloe Morrison's dad, and he's, I think, the Rinkside Live biggest fan, or he's up there anyway. He's always watching bowls. There's a little bit of a vortex out there to the right of your screen.
It's coming back,
It's not a bad finish there from Jess Ciampa. What has Glyn Owen got in response? Probably holding 1, it looks to be. If he can try and get himself in and tuck this jack away, maybe. This one's going to end up at that previous catchment where all those early bowls have gone. A marker, Pierre, indicating that bowl at 3 o'clock is your shot bowl. Just inquiring who is holding sway at the present.
You're going a little bit more aggressive at this, I think.
Why not? I'll tell you what, he's not far away here, Jess Ciampa.
Oh, rock the bowl.
Just nudged it. in the afternoon, it might have had a little bit more of an effect.
Yep, change of sides here from Glyn. Doesn't want to knock in Jess on the forehand, so switching to the backhand, coming across the head.
Let's see what he's got.
Doesn't look like he's pushed it.
Bit of a safe weight there, but...
1 and run.
Exactly right. So a 4-2 lead to the Victorian Glyn Owen after 3 ends. And the pattern of Glyn winning in the southern direction continues. Let's see what Jess Ciampa can come back with on end 4. Gary New, watching with my son Archie, a new junior bowler. That's fantastic. And hopefully Archie has a rookie rollers set. And of course, that is all on sale at the moment. Head to the Bowls shop or bowls.com.au and you will be able to grab one of those 25% off kits and a free wedge with each kit purchase. How good is that, Els?
So
I need to get myself one. We've got a hallway in our, well, just outside of our apartment, and maybe when we have people over, we can get the rookie rollers out, or just have an apartment bowls party or something.
It's such a well designed equipment set. It really is excellent for clubs and for schools. It's purpose made. There's some great resources that accompany it too, as well as some online training. So it really is a super package as an introductory pack to bowls.
I'll pop the link in the comments for everybody so that if you do want to purchase that, you can.
And of course, bowls is such a brilliant sport for inclusivity and all the family members being able to play together. I think that's one of the special and unique things about our sport, is that all generations can play alongside each other.
It is wonderful, isn't it? It is really wonderful. Joe Franzi's about to head down to coaching session with Kelly McErin this morning. That's not bad.
Oh, very good.
Tracy Wallace wishing you a good morning as well, Els.
Oh, good morning, Tracy. Oh, chilly enough for a hot chocolate? Not a hot chocolate, but I have got a coffee.
Yeah, I've already had 2 this morning. I'll have to time my coffees. Day 1 and having 3 coffees, that's never a good start, but I do enjoy it. So let's see where Jess Ciampa can end up here. He's a little quick, but if he takes the jack, it might not be too bad. Just skews it out to the left of screen. It's probably going to be enough for shot, though. He was holding 1 previously. So, Els, I know you'd played here when you were playing internationally for England, but how long did it take you to sort of get acclimatised to our conditions here? Because obviously living here, you're going to be playing a lot more on these quicker greens than what you're used to. How long did it take you to sort of acclimatise yourself?
Yeah, it actually took quite a while, to be honest. I think the difference is when you come over for a major event, you have a period of very, very intense practice and build up and preparation, and then you're going into the major event where you're playing 3 games a day for multiple days. So you soon get acclimatized, if that makes sense. Whereas when you come over and live, I was finding that I was playing for a few days, and then there'd be a gap, and then be playing again. And of course, the time that we came over, it was just off the back of COVID. Well, COVID was still very prevalent, and seasons were being completed that had been put on hold. So there wasn't probably as much match playing opportunity. So it took a lot longer than what it had done previously when they were coming over for major events. So yeah, that it's been an experience, and still learning, learning all the time, refining things all the time. But I guess that's what keeps you playing the sport for so long, for over 30 odd years. It's a case of you never quite master it. So you're always learning, always trying to think a bit differently, try different things, and try and be the best that you can be.
100%. So final bowl of this end, and Jess Ciampa might have an opportunity to go in front. I reckon he might be holding 2 here, but
this looks a very good line.
We shall see. It does.
Can he stop? Looks like it's in.
Might just be, and we might see our first lead change of this match. Two have been taken out, so that final bowl was in the count. And they're measuring Alan Faulkner for a possible 4.
Which would be the first 4 of the game.
Let's see where this ends up.
And that's always a thing in singles, isn't it, tactically? I know it sounds obvious, but you just don't want to drop multiple counts.
No. Only seen one single so far, and it is a full count. Oh, he's got 4 paddles up, so yes, that is a full count. Well, there's the momentum swing possibly. Having last bowl at this stage, Els, seems to be the way to go.
Yeah, and you always want to add when you've got that opportunity. Save when you're down, add to the count when you're up.
6-4 lead to Jess Ciampa from Cabramatta.
Both players settling into the game now.
Really interesting. Singles, it's never over until it's over. You can't count down a clock. You can't count down the ends. You have to get the shots. We tend not to see too many timed out matches.
A very good opening bowl.
So let's see where this one ends up for Glyn, Owen, and I feel as though Jess Ciampa is warming into this one.
Yeah, and he's sticking with a forehand in this direction. Glyn just played the backhand.
Ellen, there is not a cloud in the sky here on the Gold Coast. You're living up here now. What are some of your go-tos?
As in restaurants?
Restaurants or whatever, just for the listeners that might be here.
Well, I think that, we're blessed up here that there's so much choice. And where we are north of the coast, it's nice that you're close enough to everything, but you're out of the hustle and bustle too. But yeah, I mean, you can't beat walking by the beach. There's no doubt about that. And there's, for those that don't like walking on the sand, there's now a beautiful walkway alongside the beach. At Broadbeach, so if you're staying around the area, that's a lovely spot, and there's plenty of lovely cafes to get a nice coffee in the morning.
Oh yes, there is.
But yeah, you're spoilt for choice really in terms of restaurants opportunities, and of course the clubs up here, we're blessed with some fantastic bistros in the big clubs across the coast too.
Well, Broadbeach have part of these new developments at the club, they do croissants now, which I didn't know about until yesterday, and I'm very, very keen to try and sample one a little later on today.
I think that's another reason why the AA is so popular. It's the competition, but it's also the fact that there's so many things to do with any downtime that you got. The shopping's fantastic.
Pacific Fair is one of my favourite places up here.
There's the theme parks, there's the beach, there's multitude of bars, cafes, restaurants. So it's got something for everybody.
So this end for Glyn Owen has not been his friend so far. 2 short. And one a little further back. So this is a massive bowl in the context of this match because he could be as much as 3 down. Needs to get this in the count. He'll have the run, but he's rocked. And this could be danger signs. I reckon this is definitely a 2 to Jess Ciampa.
Could possibly be 3. His bowl looks straighter on.
Yeah. I think it is a 3, but we'll let them confirm. Jess wants it, and Glyn obliges. A triple, so 7 from the last 2 ends have gone the way of the New South Welshman, and he wins back-to-back ends for the first time out of anybody in this match. So it's a 9-4 buffer, whereas just 2 ends ago, it was 4-2 in favour of Glyn Owen. This just shows how quickly things can change in a match of singles.
Yeah, as you said earlier, it's all about momentum, winning back-to-back ends. Start to give yourself a little bit of breathing space.
Fiona Hall wishing us a good morning as well, and Fiona is the queen of Mudgery Bar. I think she'd be too humble to admit that, but she does a power of work at that club, and we got to stream there one day last year at the World Bowls Championships, and it was brilliant. It was a dramatic day too. It was the day the thunderstorms came and the Australians were playing the French in the men's triples.
Was that the day of the marriage proposal as well?
Yes, marry me, Kiki. She said yes, so I wonder how they're going. If the wedding has actually taken place.
And yours isn't far away now either.
No, just 4 months, 4.5 months. So we're plugging along. Michael Vasallo watching on, saying go Jess with a bull ant emoji. And the way he's going at the moment, he could draw to a bull ant.
Yeah, so interesting, both players playing different sides of the rink. So Jess opting for forehand round the clock and Glyn opting for backhand round the clock. And this is a good bowl from Glyn. Just going to run through, I think. Jess just asking for information around how short his bowl was, just to make that adjustment. And the instructions are very good because he's right on the money.
Well, this is a real change in fortunes. It was Glyn Owen who dictated proceedings earlier, but Jess Ciampa has acclimatised to perfection. Of course, in the singles or men's singles, there are no next best qualifiers due to the sheer volume of players. Over 1,300 entries into the men's singles.
It's staggering, isn't it?
It's bewildering.
How fantastic, though.
I know. And it's so different from so many of the other, big tournaments from other sports around the world, because generally it's a ranking-based qualification or something along those lines, or you have to be invited to play. But here, just pay a fee, just get in before the cutoff.
Yeah, and of course it filled up very, very quickly this year, which is fantastic. But I think, the other uniqueness about this event is that you could be playing a jackaroo in one of the games in your section, and how brilliant is that to get to test yourself against the best in the world?
Well, we had a gentleman last year come and tell us that he played Aaron Sheriff in his sectional, and he said it was the best experience he's ever had. That he didn't win, but it was the best experience that he'd had on a bowling green, because you just learn from them. You're not going to, generally you're not going to beat them unless you play out of your skin, but
and I think that's the thing I will say, from a coaching perspective, for anyone kind of in the sport, coming into the sport, play with and against as many better bowlers as you can, because exactly as you said, it's how you learn. And yeah, the jackaroos are really humble, respectful, and they'll always act in that way regardless of who they're playing.
And what I want to drill home, early entries, Alan Faulkner. As soon as we let you know, put your name in, because you don't want to miss out and have to go on the waiting list. You want to be confirmed that you're coming to the Gold Coast, and it's such a great tournament to be a part of. That is going to be more pain inflicted on Glyn Owen, as Jess Ciampa wins a third end in a row, and it's also a multiple. It's a 2, and his first one into double figures. He leads it 11-4 after 6 ends.
Yeah, there's something about getting to double figures first in terms of a bit of a mini game within a game.
Well, Natasha Van Eldik and Kelsey Cottrell play these sorts of games. Tash sets herself little goals saying get to 10 first, get to 15 first, and then get to 21. And then Kelsey Cottrell, when she's in front, she switches the score to keep herself driven and motivated, which I absolutely love.
Yeah, both really good strategies.
What do you do?
I break it down into first two.
Yep.
And it will depend on the game and the patterns as to what that looks like. Got to be a bit flexible sometimes.
Yep.
And because it is 21 up, as I was saying, sometimes it becomes a game of patience too.
Well, yeah, you see people when they get a big lead, and I feel bad for even mentioning it, but Glenn Pitts last year when he led Aaron Sheriff, I think it was 19-12 in the men's singles semi-final, you know, he just started to get those rushes of blood and started driving and playing with more weight. And then Aaron Sheriff sensed blood and just kept prodding and probing and getting balls near the head, and a few ends later, he was the winner.
Yeah, and that's the big thing. Sometimes you can get so focused on the finish line that you actually don't play what's in front of you.
Glenn Pitts back in the draw this year, and he's copped a really tough section because within that section is Rob Rowdy McMullen, who dazzled us at the Bowls Premier League earlier this season. Literally single-handedly saved the Tasmania Tridents on 2 occasions in the final round against the Tweed Heads Ospreys. You can go back and watch that on Bowls Australia's Facebook and YouTube channels. It's the final round of the home and away matches.
Yeah, we're very lucky, aren't we, the amount of bowls that's available online now. But of course, you can't beat tuning in live to see the action unfold right in front of your eyes.
We even had a little bit of a WWE exhibition last night. I don't know if you saw that, Ellen, on the stream. A man or a gentleman here was causing a little bit of a ruckus, stood on the green, and the security guard spear tackled him into the green and ejected him from the premises.
Oh wow! No, I didn't see that. We actually, because it's going to be a sort of an interesting couple of weeks. We actually went out for dinner last night, so
very nice.
Didn't tune in for bowls.
I've just shown Ellen the video. It was quite full on, actually.
Yeah, it's not often you see those kind of scenes. Thank goodness.
I was actually quite distracted. You could sort of afterwards listen back, and you could sort of hear my mind ticking over because I wasn't really sure what to say. I've never had anything like that happen.
I think the only time something similar has happened was at World Bowls.
Andrew Kelly
tackled somebody
a thief.
Yeah.
Those photos, and I've seen the footage. There was a hard tackle as well. So final bowl for Glyn Owen, and this is one where he just needs to get in the count. I'm not sure. He's not holding. Rocks off a couple, but
not quite enough.
I think it's still going to be another one. To Jess Ciampa, we'll get this confirmed. They stride down the green. And let's see what they get. Pierre indicates it's one more to the New South Welshman. So it's now 4 ends in a row. He's gone 4, 3, 2, 1. Now it might be Glyn Owen's turn. If that pattern continues, or we might just get a dead heat. Barbara Green, watching from a very wet and cold Sydney. Jack right on the tee.
Yeah, longer one this time, and you'll see that the shadows have changed on the green too with the sun.
Might make things faster. So Jess Ciampa, half an hour into this match, and he leads by 8. He's motoring along And this is not a bad start. Just wants it to hold and pull up. It's not too bad.
Yeah, good weight. And the wind's pretty kind this morning. There's not much wind about.
Not too bad at all. Really relaxed. Wouldn't be sitting outside at this time in Melbourne, that's for sure. You saw that just a month ago at Club Sunbury, Els, how cold it can get.
Yeah, it was certainly a bit chilly, even for me. I've definitely become acclimatised to the Queensland weather.
Yes, that's true. Coming from England, where this is a balmy day.
Yeah, it would be, and it's their summer at the moment, and it's not very good, according to my parents.
Having said that, the only time I've spent in England was 2022, and Birmingham, the Com Games, the weather was splendid, and then I went to London for 4 nights after that, and that was spectacular. I didn't see one drop of rain at all.
Yeah, when we were over there, I think it was part of the staging camp, the build-up camp, it was sort of high 30s on one of the days, so it's it can get very hot in certain periods.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
Oh, that's a great bowl there.
Lockie Williams sitting next to us doing our switching and running this whole broadcast. He's a man of many talents. He just said that when he was there, the runway melted in Luton.
Yeah, it's interesting that how extremes of temperature can affect different countries based on what's the norms, I guess, and what therefore they're geared up for and what they're not.
So what has Glyn Owen got? He desperately needs things to go his way.
Yeah, switch over here to the forehand. Has he got the pace?
He might have just. It's a good line, but it did pull up very quick. Still got one. Just needs to win an end and change the length. This is where singles is where jack rolling is even more important, because you don't have anybody else to rely on.
Yep, it's definitely around finding what your armchair length is, and for those coming up, it's around effective practice, working out where your go-to is, but being flexible with that too.
So this one, I think it might be a one and run situation. He could be back on the board, and I did allude to it at the end of the last end. It was a 4, a 3, a 2 and a 1 to Jess Ciampa. And I said Glyn Owen might be in for an end win, and it looks as though that might be the case. Hasn't saluted since end 3. And he's back on the board. It's taken 5 ends, but he does move to 5.
So we'd expect to see something different here, a bit of a change with length. Mix it up a bit, and if your pattern of play follows, then it will be 2 on this end to Glyn.
And of course, June 11, Tuesday night, 7 p.m. and 9:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. The Club Map webinars, they're back. Philanthropic funding and Australian Sports Foundation. That's what will be on the agenda. Scan the QR code to register your club. Of course, information on bequests and gifting programs. Finish with a Q&A as well. These are such great resources for clubs around the country. Gary Willis and Karen Murphy did a coaching masterclass. Jimmy Reynolds was involved, and Natasha Van Eldick as well. And one lucky club had the opportunity to have Kaz and Gaz go down there for a coaching masterclass, which is quite amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, isn't it? And I think it was a extremely well-attended session, and certainly seeing the FAQs that came out after, there's certainly a big appetite in the coach development space, which is fantastic to see.
For sure.
Another good bowl here.
So the vest or the jumper has come off here for Jess Ciampa. He means business. He's warming up. Down 2 at the moment. And this is where the change of length could bring him unstuck. However, well, that has just skewed through.
That's what I would say. Blistered the paintwork.
Yep. Peter Taylor, couple of rinks over. Down 11-4. Former Australian Bowler of the Year. Up against Ben Sale of Middle Park in Victoria. What a bowling club that is, as Glyn Owen puts one in a pretty good home. And I tell you what, I reckon that's probably a third here. So we don't have live scores, but the results will be put in after every session. Go to results.bowlslink.com.au and you can see where your favourite player sits. The link is also in the video description as well. So Glyn Owen, down 1. Needs to save things a little, needs to pull up and hold. It doesn't. And an opportunity for Jess Ciampa to get back on top and really tighten these screws even further. So important when you've had a few ends on the bounce. You lose one, you don't want to lose a couple.
Correct, yep. You want to get the momentum back. And he's got a good opportunity here to add another one.
Jess Ciampa, it's drifting. Has it done enough?
I think it's just gone too far.
Well, it's almost sitting jack high. I think he's close. I'm going to go the early crow L's and call this 2. One kicked out. So Jess Ciampa back on the board.
I think it's going to be a measure.
It is. What are your thoughts, Els? Are you going to join me at 2 or play devil's advocate and go 1?
Yeah, I'm going to mix it up and go for 1.
I thought we were friends.
Got to keep it interesting, Val.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. What have we got? Is Alan Faulkner right, or am I?
Oh, Val. Advantage, Val.
I will take it and run. 14-5, that's the lead. As we head into end number 10 of this match. Feels like we've been playing a lot longer.
Yeah, there's been quite a few multiples scored, haven't there? Been some 4s and 3s. So you seem to rack up the shots when that happens.
So wind just picks up a little bit.
Yeah, so Jess sticking with his forehand side in this direction. Gone back to his length. And that's a very good opening bowl. That's what you want.
Yep, right on the money.
Puts the pressure on right from the start.
Glyn Owen led this 4-2 and took a 3 on the opening end, but he's only won 3 ends in this contest out of the 9 that we've played so far. He's only 7 shots away from victory. Jess Ciampa.
And of course, margin can make a big difference in sectional play.
All shots matter, Alan Faulkner.
He's given this one a chance.
Yeah, he's not far, but I do fear that this is going to drift around. The weight was good. Line just that little bit too wide. So room here for Jess Ciampa to push on.
Oh, that's a good bowl from Jess. Good covering bowl.
So the sections today, 11:45 a.m. That's round 2. So that's in 2 hours' time. And then round 3 at 2:30 p.m. Our next match between Mark Winter and Chris Owen in section 5. And then round 3, 2:30 p.m. between Glyn Lynch of Western Australia and Bruce Hughes of New South Wales, of course. Aero is the largest manufacturer of the most accurate bowls ever made. More models, sizes, grips, and over 65 colours, innovating the game for tomorrow.
So Jess has just framed that head. It'll be interesting if Glyn has a go at this.
Might as well. There's a little target, and he's played with arriving weight underneath. So this will be another 2, I believe, Alan Faulkner.
It certainly looks that way.
And he's almost in that checkout zone.
Yep, not far away.
He's in the frozen food section as he's finishing his shopping. And
Yeah, that is always last, isn't it?
It is, yeah. Seems to be how they're structured. The toilet paper and the frozen food. Always at the end.
I suppose there's logic in that, so that your goods don't defrost
yes,
as you go around.
That's true. Yeah, you don't want the ice cream to melt.
Oh, we do talk about some random things.
I know.
And it's only day 1.
I know. It's probably more of a reflection on how much I enjoy grocery shopping. I do like it. That's a story for another day, though.
Another good opening bowl there. Weight's good.
Brian Barras has joined us. Hey, from England. Do you guys have any Crown Green bowls greens?
I haven't come across any, Brian, while I've been over here.
Talk to us the difference about Crown Green and Tiff Dwarf, Els. Do you know much about it?
Well,
or am I throwing you under the bus?
Yeah, kind of. I've actually never played Crown Green, but in essence, there's like a bit of a hump in the middle of the green. So it's not constrained to rinks.
Oh, right.
But Brian, please do tell me more.
Nice.
It's quite popular in the northwest of England. That's kind of where there's...
Is that more Liverpool up that way?
Yeah, Liverpool, Manchester, Lancashire type area. That's a fantastic bowl there from Jess.
John Sigsworth, bowls on my phone, Black Caps T20 on my TV. Life, she's good. For sure. Bit of a big upset in the T20 World Cup yesterday. The USA knocking off Pakistan. That was one that I certainly wasn't expecting. Of course, if you're looking at global sport, Roland Garros going on at the moment as well. Australian Open bowls, AFL, NRL, F1 this weekend as well. Plenty happening. Peter Taylor, 11 all in his match.
Yeah, sensible spot there. Yeah, Glyn changing to the forehand. Just look to reach that bowl. Trail the jack. And if he doesn't get it, he'll finish in a good spot.
So Brian Barras saying the Jack has a bias. So this is on a crown green. The Jack has a bias same as the bowls. We play any distance the green allows with a minimum of 19 metres.
Which, of course, is different to over here because it's minimum of 21 metres, and international play and UK flat green is 23 metres.
There you go. So this is becoming a worry for Glyn Owen. Jess Ciampa is zoned in.
Doesn't look like he likes that one from his body language.
So is this another 2?
It looks like it.
And is Jess Ciampa within touching distance of an opening victory of his 2024 Australian Open campaign? Is it a 3?
They're going to have a measure.
They are. So he's pretty much worked in multiples, Jess Ciampa. Of the 7 ends he's won so far, not including this one, he's only won 1 with a single. Let's see. It is just a 2. So the last 3 ends have gone the way of the New South Welshman, and they've all been 2s.
Arrow, used by world champions Kelvin Kirko, Corey Wedlock, Aaron Tees and Aaron Sheriff. Swirl, Arrow's new colourway, easy on the eye and in over 65 colours. Arrow's enhanced grip allows you to go up 1 to 2 sizes, shaped to give maximum comfort and control. Made in Australia, machined with robotics for unparalleled accuracy. Arrow provide the most accurate of bowls. Arrow, same line every time.
There it is, Arrow, the same line every time, and those new enhanced grips are sensational. I had a little play around with them at the Bowl Show studios. Very nice to hold on to, that's for sure. As we head back to this one, and he's 3 away from victory is Jess Ciampa. And this would be some sort of a start for him, Alan Faulkner.
Yeah, he's put his first one in the zone. Oh, but Glyn has put in a great reply. So he switched that forehand side and puts a jack, well, not quite a jack toucher, but not far off. Great opening bowl. Yeah, good back bowl in there.
Yep. And this is the good thing for Jess. He doesn't really need to, he might be down 1 here and there. He doesn't need to attack. He's at the point where he can just afford to cough up a couple if he needs to. Obviously, you don't want to. That's the competitor in you. But when one of the bowlers has been around the jack, it's generally been pretty hard to get rid of it.
Yeah, nobody's played really quick or aggressive in terms of the style of play for the game so far. That's the thing, you always want to force your opponent to play the difficult shot. The hard shot is the timing shot. It'll be interesting here. He's not going to go and look at the head, so he's just going to play probably just over on the forehand. Yeah, just trying that just arriving weight, see if he could get through that port, drag the jack.
So another chance here for Glyn Owen to get himself back on the board and narrow the gap just a little bit. Of course, these shots up, they matter. Because, say, if Jess Ciampa has a heavy loss in his next match and Glyn Owen has a heavy win, he's right back in this for qualification into the knockout rounds. I think this is going to be a single. Margin from 13 to 12. 18-6 in favour of Cabramatta's Jess Ciampa. Just the 4 ends of the 12 played so far have gone the way of St Leonards' Glyn Owen. Already so many people around Broadbeach this morning, Els. It's a little bit of a hub up here, isn't it?
It is, and what a beautiful day as well. Can't beat getting out and about when you've got bright blue skies. And the temperature is definitely getting up there. I'd imagine it's hovering around the 20 mark at the moment.
My watch is indicating that it is telling me to stand at the moment. There we go. 16 at the present, but a top of 21. But this is a warm 16. When there's not a cloud in the sky, it's beautiful.
And of course it is only, well, it's not even 10 o'clock yet. Oh, this is brilliant bowls from both players here. Probably the best opening 2 bowls we've had from both of them, I think.
100%. Generally, when one's been that close, the other hasn't been able to match, but certainly warming in and honing to the conditions. Let's see what Glyn Owen can do. I reckon he'd be down 1 at the moment, but it's very close.
Oh, another brilliant bowl.
Oh, sorry, he's definitely holding. Sorry, I got my colours mixed up there. He was holding 1. I reckon he'd be holding 2 now.
It looks that way.
Apologies. I'd gone so long without the red confusing me, the red on red, but it finally got me in the latter stages of this. Well, that's a good home.
Yeah, it gives him options, doesn't it? Particularly when he's looking for 3 to check out and close the game.
Yep. Well, he's in line at the checkout, that's for sure, Jess Ciampa.
Yeah, so Glyn will be going for a back bowl here, change of hand. Looking to get behind.
And watching from Dunedin in New Zealand. This one needs to hold up just before it does. So he hasn't won back-to-back ends in this match yet, Glyn Owen. And at this stage, he's looking like he might achieve it. He's got 1 more left in the tank.
Yeah, he's just pausing. He's just having to think. He probably doesn't want to make the target any bigger than what it is already. Yeah, he's staying away from it by the looks of that delivery.
Oh no, this could be bad. And it is, yeah, it is bad. That's right on the jack now, and Jess Ciampa, oh, are they both? No, it's 1 to Jess Ciampa, and he's declared the end.
But by the weight that was played there, it looked as though he was intending to go round the back of the
Yeah, I think he just
back
missed
of the head.
The line, didn't he? That is catastrophic for Glyn Owen, who was on the verge of scoring his first multiple since the first end. And have a look at the replay here. That was his second bowl to go in and hold 2. And my God, that hurts. From what could have been a 10-shot margin, he's now down by 13. Serena Bonnell, good morning to you. She's commented, best thing about the AO is that anyone can enter and play against the big guns, but also can be drawn on the live stream rink and have experience of their game being exposed and watched by their supporters back home. I'm sure that's how the people have felt about drawing you in their section, Serena. You're one of the big guns. World Championship and Com Games medalist.
Yep,
and a world record holder with you, Ellen Faulkner.
Yes, indeed.
Have your legs pulled up from that still?
Yeah, do you know what? It was interesting that physically it was actually okay in terms of how my body pulled up. It was actually more about the sleep deprivation that took a while to recover from. Yeah, but it was certainly an experience, and one that we did, and Serena did all the hard work in terms of the coordination, logistics. There was a lot of work behind the scenes to make that happen. Tremendous volunteer workforce, fantastic support from Club Tweed in terms of access to the facility, Gold Coast Tweed district in terms of the live stream. So there was a huge amount of work and people behind the scenes to make it happen, but it was very much around the conversation and really showcasing the inclusive nature of our sport. And that's what it was all about. The fact that we got a world record was a bonus, and was a byproduct of what the intention was.
How shattering is it going to be if someone comes around and tries to break it? Because then you know how hard it is if you wanted the record back.
It's funny. We've had that conversation, and there's no plans to do it again.
And have a look at how close it ended up as well in terms of the margin. You clawed your way back and almost got the win in the end, Els.
Yeah, it was a good game, and I said right from the start, if we're going to play, we'll play properly, and it was.
I saw you were chasing bowls on the first end, not pacing yourself at all.
Serena's like, "What are you doing?"
I played a win, Serena.
But yeah, it was a fantastic experience, and it was a privilege actually to be Serena's buddy in that process. It's very much her dream and vision, and she's very much around breaking down barriers, challenging perceptions, and breaking glass ceilings, and she's certainly doing that in abundance.
Yep, and have a look at the little score worm there, Els. She got away from you a little bit towards the end, but look at how you just fought back here and almost pinched the victory.
Yep. It was.
That's the tenacity of 1E Faulkner, MBE. Yeah, Mel, unfortunately, we just had a directional change this morning, and the two gentlemen that were supposed to be streamed were very gracious about that. They actually said they were pretty happy not to be because of the sledging that was going to come from back home. But no, we do apologise for anybody that was keen on watching those two play. And the streams are always subject to change here. It's just depending on the directions that we play and the capacity for us to get to certain rinks. But yeah, we do apologise for those that were looking forward to watching that. So let's have a look at what has happened here.
And it looks like it's game, set, match.
It is. They are shaking hands. They've conceded. And it is going to be Jess Ciampa who gets the job done 21-6 and opens up his Australian Open campaign in glorious fashion. He was down early, dropped to 3 in the opening end, and looked as though it could be a good day for Glyn Owen, who led 4-2. But after N4, it was all Jess Ciampa. He only dropped 2 ends after that, and he was absolutely magnificent on his way to a 15-shot victory. That's about all we've got time for this morning, but we'll be back in an hour and 44 minutes' time for round 2, and we look forward to it. Locke has the countdown there. So, Ellen Faulkner, thank you very much. You'll join me again in an hour and 44.
Thanks very much, Val, and well done to both players. Not easy to be on the live stream rink, but they looked as though they enjoyed the experience, and they'll be back for round 2.
Looking forward to seeing how their event transpires. But until 11:45, when round 2 does commence, it's been Ellen Faulkner and Val Febo. Enjoy your coffees, enjoy your tea, whatever you do up until then, and we'll catch you soon.
Aero, used by world champions Kelvin Kirko, Corey Wedlock, Aaron Tees and Aaron Sheriff. Swirl, Aero's new colourway, easy on the eye and in over 65 colours. Aero's enhanced grip allows you to go up 1 to 2 sizes, shaped to give maximum comfort and control. Made in Australia, machined with robotics for unparalleled accuracy. Aero provide the most accurate of bowls. Aero, same line every time.